What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. So this video right here is a weird one for me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little scared because if you know me, if you've been rocking with me for a while, you know that I hate rumors and reports when it comes to these WWE shows because nothing good can come out of it. Either they're gonna gas you up for something that don't even happen at the event, then you're disappointed, then you hate the whole show, or they'll ruin a surprise for you, then you disappointed, then you hate the whole show. So it's not really too much good that can come out of this. But I feel like this weekend for Backlash, there's not a lot of crazy stuff that can happen this weekend. Now, I could possibly be wrong, but I really believe there's not too much crazy stuff that can happen. Now, if this ruins anything about that show, if it tells me what color Randy Orton trunks are going to be against John Cena, I'm not doing these type of videos no more. It's over. I'm shutting it down. But anyway, I'm rolling the dice because I rock with you guys. It's for y'all entertainment. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know how you feel in the comment section. Let's get into these rumors.
What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at the most shocking last-minute rumors that you need to know for WWE Backlash 2025.
I'm
Be sure
scared,
to
man.
subscribe and
I'm
hit that
scared.
notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number 1, Jacob Fatu turns face.
Oh,
Could
yeah.
Backlash
That's
finally
obvious.
be the night in which Jacob Fatu turns babyface? Fatu is set to defend his US title in a fatal 4-way against LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest.
That match is going to be a banger. I'm looking forward to that match. That's going to be a banger.
It has been heavily teased on WWE television that Solo Sikoa is trying to sabotage Fatu's success. This was even directly called
All
out.
right. Why does Solo look like a cartoon character right here, bro? He's supposed to be in the How to Draw book. Anyway, about Solo wanting to sabotage Jacob Fatu, I gotta rewind this, bro. I can't talk about this seriously with Solo looking like that, bro. Like a Scooby-Doo character. But anyway, when it comes to Solo sabotaging Jacob Fatu, I don't think that's what he wants to do. At least not right now. I think right now, Solo Sikoa wants to take the credit for Jacob Fatu being a U.S. champion and for his title reign. Now, once it gets to that point, when Jacob Fatu, because I think Jacob see right through the man right now. But I think at some point when he's getting tired of him being around, trying to be elite, trying to suck up all the credit and things like that, Jacob's going to tell Solo, hey, man, I don't need you at the ringside. Get away from me a little bit. And once that happens, then Operation Sabotage is going to start. That's when Solo Sikoa is really going to sabotage Jacob, because Solo Sikoa is elite. She's like one of those people who like, hey, I love to see you successful as long as I'm involved. But once you push me away, once I start hurting, oh, you can't be successful without me. I'm not gonna let that happen. We both going down. I'm sinking the ship. And that's how Solo is. So I think that's what's going on right now with this storyline.
Yes. This was even directly called out by SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis,
Come on,
so
man,
it
that
appears
face.
that the end is nigh when it comes to the relationship between the two cousins. Now, could Sikoa cost Fatu the US title,
No,
and we end
no.
the fatal 4-way with Fatu embarking on a rampage and seeking revenge on his cousin? It's
No.
very possible. However, with Fatu only winning the US title 2 weeks ago, it's likely that he has an extended run with the title. Jacob Fatu is on the borderline when it comes to his babyface status, and it's only a matter of time before WWE commits all the way to Fatu being a major player in the company. Number 2, LA Knight turns heel.
Ooh.
There have been also calls from fans, predominantly since WrestleMania 41, to see LA Knight turn heel. Some fans believe that LA is stagnant in his babyface role and he needs a heel turn to finally break out of the mid-card. Now, could Backlash be the place the heel turn goes down? Or for this to work, LA has to either cheat to win or screw over a fellow babyface in the match to get a big W. This would be extremely risky as LA remains insanely over with the audience, and if WWE aren't careful, they could end up turning one of the most organically over babyfaces on the roster for the sake of it. Number 3.
Here's the thing, man. With that, it will be something fresh for him to do. But I think when the draft happens, they just send him over to Raw. I don't know when the draft happens, but if it's happening anytime soon, just send him. You don't have to turn him into a heel. Everybody don't need to turn heel right now. Now, if they decide to do that, he doesn't need to win the match to be a heel. All he got to do is lose. If let's say like Damian Priest is the reason why LA Knight loses that match, LA Knight just got to beat the brakes off him after match is over, and then that just solidifies him as a heel. That's all it takes. But I don't know. I mean, he is organically over with the fans, so you kind of want to hold on to that momentum. And he could be like a tweener. I think LA Knight is one of the few wrestlers that can work either as a babyface or as a heel. But for me, I would rather keep him as a babyface and then send him over to Raw.
3. The Rise of McIntyre. Now, it's
What?
been reported since WrestleMania 41 that Drew McIntyre is now set for a mega push as we head into the summer.
And they said the same about Finn Balor. What's Finn Balor doing right now? All right.
McIntyre competing for the US title at Backlash seems like a step down for the former WWE champion, and surely he should be on the hunt for the WWE All-World title. Nevertheless, it's possible that McIntyre makes his intentions known at the PLE. McIntyre could easily lose the Fatal 4-Way match, avoid being pinned, and then cut an intense promo backstage where he states that he's going to become world champion again and nothing can stop him. One strong idea would be for McIntyre to attack the winner of the main event. Backlash 2025 going off the air with McIntyre holding up the WWE title would create a fantastic buzz, and it would lead to a surge of interest heading into the next few weeks at WWE television. Number 4.
You know what? I always said, once John Cena turned heel, but it will be... I mean, I think it's obvious that John Cena is going to win that, so you're going to do a heel versus heel match between John Cena and Drew McIntyre. I don't know how that's going to work, but those promos are going to be phenomenal, bro. But it's like but I just don't want it to be complain con. I don't want it to be victim con, because both of their characters are people who are like, I'm a victim because everybody around me made me this way. And I don't want to see two grown men whining and complaining on a microphone for like 30 minutes of promo. I don't know, man. It's gonna make me feel weird as a grown man. But even though it'll sound great, but within the context of the characters right now, bro, it just be too much going on. It'd be too much. But maybe they can make it work.
Becky to win gold? That's finally happening. One of
1000%.
the new women's mid-card titles is said to be defended on a premium live event. Lyra Valkyria will defend the women's Intercontinental title versus Becky Lynch, and due to the feud,
what? 4J OnlyFans WWE. I'm not even looking into that. Who cares?
Defend the women's Intercontinental.
Not who cares about Core J, but OnlyFans thing. From what I saw, it's not true.
Versus Becky Lynch, and due to the feud only getting started, it seems unlikely that Valkyria drops the title. However, with Lynch being one of the biggest names on the roster, WWE may want to have Lynch represent the new title, so it wouldn't come as too much of a surprise to see Lynch win the title at Backlash. One strong possibility is that the match fails to have a clean finish. Lynch could get disqualified, and this will protect both women and allow the feud to continue as we head into the summer months. WWE urgently needs to reset the mid-card for the women, as having recently cut an array of names from the roster, there's a lack of women on the hunt for the two respective mid-card titles, and this could cause problems for the company down the line. Number 5.
It will. I think the thing is there, if Becky does lose by disqualification, I guess it will make sense because Becky hasn't been in the ring for a long time and Lyra has been in the ring consistently. So for her to feel like she's being out wrestled in the ring and she gets desperate to try to win, kind of like John Cena did, I guess that will make sense to extend the feud. But I think Becky Lynch would have to cheat to win. I think there's going to have to be a title change tonight. There's 2 opportunities for that to happen. And we'll talk about that later if it's in this video. If not, watch my prediction video. I'll talk about it in there.
Scott Steiner returns. Now, the idea of Scott Steiner returning to WWE television at Backlash is crazy to fathom, yet it could legitimately happen. Steiner has publicly accepted Pat McAfee's request to support McAfee if he needs him in his battle against Gunther, and this could lead to Steiner making a cameo at the event itself. It's been decades since Steiner was involved in any kind of physicality in WWE, and the visual of Steiner facing off against Gunther is interesting to say the very least. The McAfee versus Gunther matchup is a rather untraditional matchup, so it's likely that there will be lots of bells and whistles involved in the layout of the match, and Steiner could be one of the names who could make a special guest appearance. There are various other names that could even be involved, as Michael Cole is one name that could get physical. Locking in an Cole lock on Gunther would be incredibly funny, and the run-ins from the likes of Ludwig Kaiser and potentially even members of the Pat McAfee show team are highly probable. I mean, if Cole did have the lock-in on Gunther, the IWC would have a complete meltdown. Number 6.
Oh, all right, wait. Let's just talk about that, bro, because we might have to stay here for a few minutes. For one, I don't want to see Michael Cole get back in. I don't want him to put on a wrestling unitard. I don't want him to see that. I don't want to see that no more. It's over. It's giving me PTSD just thinking about it. But the idea of Scott Steiner being there, I got all the respect in the world for Big Papa Pump. I do. The chain, all that stuff is, when I was growing up, I thought that was amazing. I don't want to see him get involved in this like that. If he wants to stand there and be moral support for Pat McAfee, cool. If he want to be his towel man or ice him up when he get his face beat in, cool. But I'm not saying that Scott Steiner isn't capable of doing certain things, but I don't want to see him in any capacity this match. Either he's going to end up having a match against Gunther, which I personally do not want to see that happen. I mean, maybe he's good in the ring right now, but I got a feeling whenever they put older individuals in a match with Gunther, that isn't really, like I don't want to see him get hurt. And then the other thing, I don't want to see him get destroyed by Gunther. Like I don't want to see Scott Steiner doing that. Now, as far as when they brought out the picture of Ludwig Kaiser, all right, I got a little upset. I ain't gonna lie to you, because to be honest, where has this man been, bro? It's like as soon as somebody's girl win a title or become a big star, their boyfriend, husband, whoever ends up disappearing, unless you're Becky Lynch or and Seth Rollins, right? That's typically what happens normally, right? But if they wanted to include Ludwig Kaiser and turn it into Gunther, it would have been the best opportunity to do that when Gunther was having that identity crisis. That would have been a great place for Ludwig Kaiser to strike. Or he could have been the reason why Gunther lost to Jey Uso at WrestleMania, especially if that match was a match with no DQ. That would have been dope. And then we would have got Ludwig versus Gunther, and then Ludwig would have went babyface, and that would have been interesting. That would have been interesting. But I mean, what do I know, right? What do I know?
Is Goldberg costing Gunther? Goldberg is said to have his final ever pro wrestling match at some point in 2025. Whilst we are unsure of when the date of the match will be, there are rumors of the matchup potentially occurring at SummerSlam or even one of the Saudi Arabia events. Goldberg was involved in a heated confrontation with Gunther at the Bad Blood event last year, and this is yet to have a payoff. Surely WWE have to book an interaction between the two before Goldberg retires. Gunther would be an outstanding choice for Goldberg's final match. Whilst Gunther is indeed extremely technical, he is able to work with anyone, and his slow, methodical style could be highly beneficial to the WWE Hall of Famer. Goldberg returning at Backlash and costing Gunther the match versus Pat McAfee would be a surefire way to reignite the feud and give fans a solid reason to actually care about the matchup itself. Some fans may be critical of the idea, as Gunther, who is a former world champion, losing to an announcer isn't a great look. This, however, somewhat protects him. Additionally, it would be a foregone conclusion that Gunther would secure the W over Goldberg when the time came for the two to finally come to blows.
For sure.
Number 7.
The only problem I have with that idea, and I was thinking this too, I thought Goldberg was going to be the person to come out there to possibly save Pat McAfee or come out after the match. But the thing is, if this match is supposed to happen at SummerSlam, wouldn't this be too early for this interaction to happen? Because now Goldberg, a person that is not going to be on TV every week, he's probably not even going to be on TV every month. How are you going to build up this feud and just randomly spark it up at SummerSlam? If he's going to do this at Backlash, wouldn't it make more sense for it to happen at Money in the Bank as far as time goes? But I think as far as it being, this being a big event and for money, you would want the match to happen at SummerSlam. So if that's the case, wouldn't you want Goldberg to cost him at Money in the Bank? Like, I don't know. And then on top of it, I talked about this in a review. After seeing all these superstars getting released, a lot of people's favorite superstars, My Dakota, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, list goes on. And you see Goldberg that they got to pay a whole lot of money in order for him to be there, come up. The fans are not going to be happy about that. They're going to be like, because they already said that about Alberto Del Rio, even though Alberto Del Rio didn't really get signed. A lot of people are like, oh my God, you fired all these people to sign him. They're going to be thinking that for sure about Goldberg. For sure. So if you're trying to get him to be a convincing babyface, I don't know why they would do this. The fans are not going to be too happy. They're just not. But I think overall the match is a big money match and it should happen at SummerSlam. I might be going.
This is how John Cena will win. A footage of the infamous finish to the John Cena vs Randy Orton match from No Way Out 2008 has been going viral recently on social media. The finish to this match saw Orton deliberately slap the referee to get disqualified and therefore retain the WWE title. Now, there have been calls to see WWE redo this spot, but this time,
you know what? That would be perfect with John Cena's character right now. That makes all the sense in the world. I told you, John Cena is going to be here to try to ruin the main event. So if he does that honestly would be smart. I don't know why more heel champions didn't do that, but I guess they don't want people doing that over and over. So if they do a callback to that, because remember that time when AJ Styles had that feud with Cody Rhodes, when they were kind of doing references to the past, that would be cool for them to kind of do that with John Cena a little bit. I like that idea. I like it. I know the fans at Backlash may not like it, but I didn't pay a ticket to be there, so you know, they can kind of do what they want right now.
First,
I had to suffer through WrestleMania, y'all. I had to suffer through not the whole show. I love the show, but the ending of the Cody Rhodes versus John Cena match, everybody got to feel the pain too, bro. I'm about to turn into Century.
this will play extremely well into Cena's motivation of trying to ruin pro wrestling, yet Backlash 2025 going off the air with a DQ finish wouldn't exactly be the most exciting way to close out the show. WWE needs to hit a home run with this event following a negatively received WrestleMania, and replicating this spot for the match finish isn't the way to go about it, even if it does make John Cena the worst heel ever. Number 8, John Cena turns face.
Absolutely
It
not.
seems likely that John Cena reverts to his babyface persona before the year is out. When exactly Cena will turn babyface is unclear, but the seeds could be planted at Backlash. WWE could potentially book a storyline that sees Cena go through his back catalogue of opponents, starting with Randy Orton and each of them questioning Cena's moral compass. Now in time, Cena eventually sees the error of his ways and realizes that he's been corrupted and he's ultimately made the wrong decision to turn against the audience. This could play out in the match in a number of ways, as the two could offer mutual respect following the match, or Cena could go to cheat in the match but have reservations about screwing over one of his biggest competitors. Number 9.
I'm gonna ask you guys this, man, because I know you guys are wrestling fans and we've been watching this for a long time. If John Cena screws over Randy Orton, do you think Randy Orton's gonna have a mutual respect for him after the match is over? Randy Orton has RKO'd people for far less, for people who didn't do nothing to him. He RKO'd Nick Aldis because Kevin Owens was injured, and Nick Aldis didn't even injure him. So why do you think he's going to give I don't know, man. But these are rumors, so they don't all have to make sense. And I'm not the perfect booker, right? But, you know, okay, whatever.
Randy Orton wins at number 15. If there's ever a specific time for Randy Orton to win another WWE title, the Backlash event could be it. The event will take place in Orton's hometown and the crowd will be rabid for Orton, and they don't want to see the title change hands. Cena only getting a 3-week reign would be somewhat underwhelming, but this will still be 7 days longer than his 16th reign as world champion back in 2017. Backlash closing out with Orton winning the big one again would be an iconic moment, and whilst it's unlikely, it's hard to imagine anyone that would have an issue with WWE going all the way with Orton as the guy one final time. Number 10, the American Nightmare is back. A former WWE champion Cody Rhodes is set to return to WWE television at some point in May, but what if the American Nightmare made his return at the end of Backlash? Backlash could see John Cena successfully retain the WWE title, only for him to viciously attack Orton in the closing moments of the show. Rhodes could then make his heroic return to WWE, saving his longtime friend in the process. The WWE is at a stacked month ahead with Backlash, Saturday Night's main event, and Money in the Bank all taking place within the next month, so they need their big players back in the mix. Whilst it may be seen as too soon for Rhodes to return to WWE programming following WrestleMania, his star power and energy is badly missed from the Blue brand, and he's needed back sooner rather than later. And number 8,
I mean, that could happen, but I would rather his return come back whenever they actually have a plan to lead up to the rematch between John Cena and Cody Rhodes, because I think it's pretty clear that's definitely going to happen. The Rock returns. Okay, I feel like this. Okay, with The Rock, I said that in my review. The Rock could return because he wants to make up for what he did at WrestleMania, which is too late. He gonna get booed out of the building if he showed up. He is. He's gonna get booed out of the building. You think Dominic Mysterio boos were bad? It's gonna be 4 times worse than that.
11. The Rock returns. Now, The Rock landed in hot water following WrestleMania. The Rock's complete absence from the Cody Rhodes vs John Cena feud led to a lot of disappointment from fans. The fact that he didn't bother to show up at WrestleMania was a detriment to the quality of the match itself. The Rock would respond to this criticism during an interview with Pat McAfee, but this interview made things worse, as The Rock basically refused to take any accountability and was even critical regarding the key elements of the match finish.
That was the most craziest thing. I've never seen somebody screw people over and try to make it seem like it was the most righteous thing to do ever. Now, I don't hate The Rock like most people. I was actually at WrestleMania, so I would be one of the people who should be upset with him right now. But that explanation was really weird. Like, I wanted them to get the shine, but you started the whole thing. That's like a couple who was like, okay, we want to get married, but we can't find a priest. Then they hire a priest. And then on the day of the wedding, the priest doesn't show up. And he's like, nah, I didn't want to go up there because I wanted the bride and the groom to take the light. I wanted them to get all the shine. So I didn't want to show up. I didn't think you required me. And then if I showed up, then what? It's like, what? You started this whole thing. What are you talking about, bro? It makes no sense at all. Every time I see The Rock talk about stuff, it's starting to make him look more and more in a light that I don't want to see him in. You know, and it's not like he's playing a character here. He's being Dwayne Johnson here. So the more and more I see him talk about stuff, it's just, I don't know. But then that's what they say, man. You never want to meet your hero. But maybe The Rock isn't like this. Maybe he couldn't find a good excuse. Maybe he's just not good at explaining these things. But still, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good situation. Nice rainbow picture in the back, by the way.
Could it be possible that The Rock addresses this fan resentment by finally showing up at Backlash? The Rock showing up at a seemingly random show such as Backlash would be an unusual move, but stranger things have happened. The Rock previously showed up at 2 B-level PLEs, those being Bad Blood and Elimination Chamber respectively, so it isn't out of the question. Or could The Rock cost Orton the title and this leads to a dream match pitting The Rock and Cena versus Orton and Rhodes down the line? It's certainly ambitious fantasy booking, but The Rock is a complex individual that cares deeply about his public image, and he may decide that the best course of action is to return to television as an active character in the hopes of fleshing out Cena's lukewarm heel persona. But there you have it, folks.
I think that will be, the match will be okay, but I feel like it was already done, in a sense, at WrestleMania 40, when it was Seth and Cody versus Rock and Roman. I think at the end of the day, people want to see Rock versus Roman. I think that's what it needs to be at the end of the day. And because I feel like the reason The Rock announced WrestleMania 42 at New Orleans is because they really solidified and booked him in the contract where he can't do nothing else around that time. And what better place to have it than at New Orleans? And you got to remember, Roman Reigns and The Rock haven't really had a real interaction with each other outside of the premiere of Raw on Netflix, but that wasn't kayfabe. That was Dwayne Johnson talking to Roman Reigns and bigging up people. But we don't know how the tribal chief feels about The Rock assisting someone outside of the family winning the title that Roman Reigns had before. So we got to address those issues. It doesn't have to happen at Backlash, but at some point between now and WrestleMania 42, we got to cross that bridge. We got to cross that bridge. We cannot act like that's not a thing, because that has to be a thing with Roman Reigns, but especially with him caring about that title so much. But anyway, at the end of the day, there isn't really anything in this video that really shocked or surprised me, or anything that felt like got spoiled. A lot of these things are kind of running through my head a little bit, especially with The Rock returning. The only one I didn't think about was maybe Cody Rhodes coming back, but that's not really anything spoilery. But anyway, let me know in the comment section, what is your favorite rumor in this video? I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I got to get ready for work. It is 6 o'clock in the morning. Salute, peace, have a great day.